Technical issues hopefully done. Please. 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 Today started out okay. And then this happened. But guess what? This is, a few bucks here and there. Gotta pay the toll. Gotta pay the toll, baby. Not a bad toll to be paying. So we're still positive overall. I'll show you. We had a couple of good trades. We had a couple of trades that were a little bit silly, or I let them turn against me. The actual stats weren't too bad, I guess. I mean, that's not good. Man. It was literally just like in the middle. But I'll show you the trades that we'll do the same thing we did last time. Go over them. First one was just a goofy little test because I was trading on my phone. Oh yeah, dude. I'm gonna see if I can get the footage. It'll just be Top Step on my phone, but I found out I could trade on my phone. So I was trading at the office and I was just sweating. Just sweating, brother. Yeah, just a little joke, little test, but obviously not a good buy right there. And then we'll jump to 10:09. So let's start there. But levels became very important today. This classic, we've seen this before. Okay, we've seen. I remember early when I started doing videos on the channel and doing the right channel shit that like price would come up and bounce and come up and bounce and you're like, oh, I'm gonna short it, and then bam, what I saw, I didn't see it as it was happening really, but what happened was this, and then bam. You can see that right here. And it's because this level is a level, but it's not. This is like a 15-minute zone that I drew out. This is a zone. This was on the 1 hour. This is a zone. We bounced out of it. Forming a 1 hour thing. And this bounce broke through this kind of area. Cracked the zone high, which you could say the same thing about this, but that's not where the move originated. The turn happened down here, and that's where we bounced this afternoon. And by then I was kind of out. I didn't, do anything. Okay, so 10:09. I do have that first goofy little trade up here. Yeah, but first I do want to do this. I want to get us set up on the nut monitor. Hello. So what happened? Our POC moved up a little bit and moved up overnight. I would draw like this out. I would draw this out. And I think this is the one. Yeah. Can't go down time frames, but okay, that's fine. And this bounced, around here. And what happened here, volume-wise? Just kind of not a ton of interest down here, I guess. It wasn't horrible. It's not like a sharp taper. We built some volume up here. Those guys are definitely underwater. Any buyers that were up there, we had a pretty sharp move down from that. So, and this is kind of like a low-ish volume area. But let's see what happens. I just want to draw that out. Kind of curious. Overnight low is right here. Yeah. So the mistake I made just was not being patient. Trying to catch the bottom before I should have. My left screen is very gray, so it's gonna be. Forgive me, please. I started to see this happen. Pre-market. I just wanted to take a little testy poo. I saw this format and I was like, oh, let's just buy it. And looking at this on the left, I don't know. I don't even know what that tells you. Not a lot of... just a big taper on top. Just kind of tapered. Building volume underneath the previous candle. Which could be, looks like it could be a little bullish, but that doesn't work out. Okay, 10:09. Here we get our opening candle right here. And then 5 minutes starts to pop off. Breaks through all that nonsense. So that would be right here. Oh. Whoa, buddy. This guy right here. Whew. I'm eepy. Oh no, I'm eepy. I also didn't have this drawn out. It's very hard to draw on your phone. I don't even know if you can do it. So I just didn't. Okay, I wanted to see what this was going on here because I was wondering if it was going to bounce out of one of these zones, and it did. It's just, these are 1 minute zones, so I don't know if they're very, but there's definitely this volume build here. Just kind of this general area. So we're already up here. Yeah, like this kind of, we can look at that. I also do want to draw a zone as we go. A zone, whatever. A freaking volume profile. Got some absorption up here with that little bubble. Maybe it doesn't even want to cross into that area up there. Just less and less interest, which we're seeing on both profiles. Let's see like a wick out of here or a taper. If there truly is, now that I'm talking about it out loud, if there truly is no interest, there should be a taper up here. And we're kind of getting that. Try to speed run a delta profile. Now we're getting a little motion up here. Ooh, big aggressive seller. Okay, it looks like we're getting some build up there.
Did you get that thing
okay.
down?
I was mistaken. Where else could we be? There's a big gap up here. You know, is this forbidden interest, or is this just big players coming in that move this down? You know, trying to catch this top either ways. I mean, we are in an overall downtrend, but like kind of goofy to try to catch this top. We all know what happens. It goes down. Not at 10:09 yet.
Did you get that thing oiled down?
They got my ass. They got me from my foams. Yeah, so catching the knife never was my strong suit. So a whole lot of volume up top, of course. Then what happened at 10:09? I didn't even realize that we went back into the 5-minute opening range. Is that really what happened? Wow, no shit. Wow, okay. So I bought in this green candle at 10:10. Why did I do that? Because I saw this big uptrend, and I was hoping that this little this little situation would because I was worried it just wouldn't come back down here. I was FOMOing, basically, is what I was doing. And now that I'm looking at this, there's clearly this big gap here. Let's pop down and see what's going on down there. 10:09, so I opened on the next one. And we're losing some bearish delta here. Seeing some bid come in a little bit. Take it up to POC. I think that's where I took it. I took it to this because I was kind of seeing this as the next zone. So just a little zone to zone play. We know what happens here.
Did you get that thing oiled down?
And this turns into a range. So this little bounce out of here actually worked. And out of the 5-minute OR. But that doesn't hold forever, baby. I was wondering why this was holding so much. Okay, we bought to open, sold to close. Then came back in here at 10:35. Bought 2, which I could have held. Did not. Got a little itchy. Sold them both in here. What was that? 10:32? 10:35. 10:35. Is this a practice in futility? Sometimes it feels like it just because I'm replaying shit that already happened, but I want to see what happened on like the, you know, on the order flow replay. There was absorption there, so that's encouraging a little bit. And we got this higher low too, so I was like, maybe this is gonna be it, where it takes off. This is such an annoying profile right now. Oh, ATAS, why you do this? Why you don't allow these in the fucking replay mode? It makes no sense. There's still just this massive shelf, and I did this later today too. I leaned on a shelf like this to some effect, despite that, you know, despite the downtrend. I lean on it to some effect. Okay, we know the shelf is there. Let's just clear that up for a second. Okay. See, you look at this, and it's just fucking confusing. It's just a jungle. It's like, what the fuck am I looking at? But we did see some volume build right here. Right where there was previous volume. I might be tempted to take this. Just up to that situation again. Moves. So there was absorption down here, and then it bounced right out of that absorption with some volume build down there as well. It gets a little sketchy here. What's happening to Delta? It's turning positive a little bit. Can you imagine if it takes me out? Absorption came in there. That's nice. Nice to see. And that takes you out. Okay. And I think I just took this the other way. Yeah, I sold on 1046. So that's kind of an interesting play by ya boy. Sold that. What's happening over there? I don't know. It's just bouncing out of the volume. Very low interest. Just the tiniest wick into this zone. There's the absorption. Building it up there. And I'm also just playing this range at this point. Hopefully the range is clear. There goes something. I don't think it is though. Yeah, this doesn't look like a clean range either. Pump up the jam, pump it up.
Did you get that thing all down?
And then I think it's going to go the other way. I keep opening that side. But I took it out right there. Okay, this is where it gets a little complicated. So this was silly. I bought thinking it's going to bounce out of, you know, this box, this level. Knowing that this zone is down here from before. knowing that the other zone, even better zone, is down here from before. I can't believe the Top Step X profile is more helpful right now than the fucking ATAS profile. I mean, that's ATAS. That's a fatal mistake, guys. You gotta fix those profiles. You gotta allow tick aggregation. Put it on the market replay, you know. So we know this big shelf is here. So let's go to 1109. Just to show you, reminder, that big ass shelf is still there. There we go. Aggressive sellers showing up to push this down. Okay. And you could maybe take a bounce just like out of this, you know. Oh, so that's where no, that's not it. 1109. Okay, so this is it. I see this wick out of here. And I'm like, this is my big break, baby. Delta is still going down. Here's some absorption. So honestly, so far, it's a little convincing. Like, look at the bid. But you don't get continuation on that candle very much. I mean, there's just a big fat bid right there. Yeah, so I guess the lack of continuation, but it's just a nice clean fake out for you. There was big bid on this candle and then big positive on the next one. So you'd think they're fighting it out, which I'm sure they are. Oh, but you see that bid disappear though. Okay. So that would have been interesting to see exactly when that happened. Right here. I just chewed that up. Okay, I mean that looks like a fakie. Maybe somebody else is looking at that and saying you're dumb. But looking at the trend makes me say you're dumb for taking that. Here, so we cracked the bottom. The next thing I did was, oh my God, chill with that. Down here, right? Yeah. Oh, I didn't take this trade though. But I was thinking downtrend's going to start now, and this is absorption. I just got burned on absorption, so I'm like, yeah, I'm chilling. But this, I think, is that 1 hour zone. So far, it's just like the absorption that's coming in. Yeah, it's just a regular 1 hour time frame zone, I guess, right? Or is it this one? I think it's this one, which is 15 minutes. So that's interesting. Looks like a lot of volume. Now we're pushing up. Yeah, I don't know. The delta flip is telling. I'm going to bring that over if you can't see that. Speaking of seeing that, I haven't even made sure my stream is streaming right now. Yeah, we're good. So the delta flip right here is pretty telling. That's a big change. And maybe, you know, I'm looking at this delta. Maybe I should just put on the cluster, the statistics. We're bouncing out of. This is a bullish 1 hour. Bouncing off of yesterday's value area low. Less interest down here. Yeah. Come back up to here. I think we break this one. Let's see where my next move is. Yeah, break that. There's big bid right here. Just kind of gonna draw out this area. Not until 103 do I take another trade. And I thought that thing was gonna fly, brother. So we're hitting a lot of offer before we even get there. Oh, big offer. Big offer. They are defending this situation. They flipped that thing. The absorption, the big offer over here. It looks like reloading, just based on what I'm seeing. How it, like, this candle right here. It just came up and kept shrinking all the other volume. That's how you know how strong it is. It just kept shrinking the scale. And it was green, 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 and then red. All of a sudden, big red. Okay. So we're still waiting for 103. And you know, that's a zone. Uh, 103 right here. So we come to this 5-minute zone and a 1-minute zone. I'm thinking maybe this is the higher low I need to take off. Delta's turning positive here. There was a taper on the bottom there. It started going against me. I was sweating. absorption doesn't come in until then. So maybe I should wait till absorption. Get a little move up. That one came down. I remember that. I was scared. I was like, this could be it. This might just reverse right here. There wasn't a lot of interest on the top there, so if I was looking at this, maybe I'd get out. It just didn't build. You can kind of tell when you look at the candle paint. Just price action. More delta though. See if it holds the delta on here. Not really. Delta's going down. Then when it finally takes off, I ended up having 2 on. And what happened was let's just see if we can do it here. I had 2 on, and I put one way up here, and one closer. This is a reconstruction. This is a battle reconstruction. And then more of it. There's just no interest up there. So probably would be time to give up in real life. But I was stubborn, and I couldn't see the volume. What does the volume look like? There's just a lot of bid coming in here. Jesus. And you can see, oh yeah, I'll tell you what I was leaning on. You can see the big shelf. Just a big shelf. There's just a whole lot of... It's not crazy. It looked better on whatever top step, but you know.
Did you get that thing?
So this is exactly what happened. I got out, and then it took me out, and I ended up netting like negative $5 or something like that. And what happened at the top there? Just absorption. Continued lack of interest. Yeah. Sold one. So let's see what happens at 1502. But that was all my trades. And this is when it finally comes down to the actual important area, right? Yeah, look at that. Just screaming at you. You know, there's a big fat cluster trade right there. Don't even have to draw it to the low. There's just a big fat cluster trade right there. And this, what I have drawn on is on over here is the 1 hour kind of volume area with less volume beneath it / actual demand zone. But yeah, this is where that cluster is very helpful. So, already looks like we're getting more volume in. Yeah, there's a big one. We're holding. I'll probably get excited here. And then same thing as before. So honestly, if I had sat through that and I see that candle with the absorption, I'd probably be like, I'm out. I'm just going to get burned again trying to catch this knife. But big fat absorption over here. And that bubble. We're breaking highs. You know, it's looking pretty good. Just a lot of volume.
Did you get that thing oiled down?
There you have it. Buyers are able to push through there. Sellers, I think sellers fail. But yeah, that's it, man. I won't make this go any longer.